Hello and welcome to ACS Golf and this week's review, which is a bit of a special one because it's the 200th time I've done a review using the ACS Golf scale. Now, don't get me wrong, I've actually done more videos than that for the channel already, probably like 350 plus, but it's the 200th one where I've basically reviewed a club and put it into the ACS Golf category. So remember, we've got 5 categories: distance, feel, looks, price and forgiveness, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. So there you go. So because of that, I thought I'd make this quite a special one and pick a club that I've had for a while, but more of a collector's item, not necessarily going to maybe help your game. Definitely wouldn't help my game if I played this club 100%, but I thought I'd make it a little bit special and pick something pretty cool, well, in my mind, pretty cool anyway, rather than just, sort of your normal second-hand golf clubs, which really help you, or your new stuff as well, when those reviews do come out on a Friday. And the golf club today is this. It is the Nike Vapor Speed from 2015, but not just the normal Nike Vapor Speed, the Tiger Woods edition one. So this was basically a limited edition model that Nike released, which is, well, exactly the same specs as Tiger Woods. Apart from the shaft, exactly the same shaft he plays, but you could get it in stiff, etc. You didn't have to get it in tour stiff that he had, tour extra stiff anyway, which, you'd obviously have to have a massive swing speed to use. So very cool, all set up the way he'd have it set up. So I thought, what a perfect time to do it for the 200th review, to see if I can firstly hit a Tiger Woods club, and secondly, if I think it should be going in anyone's bag. And we'll discuss that at the end of this video. So as always, what we're going to do is have a closer look at this club, come back here, go through the technology that's in it, get down to the range, throw some figures at you, and then come back here for the 200th time with the ACS Golf scale. All right, cool. Let's have a closer look at this club. So there you go, not a bad looking thing. Don't get me wrong, you can tell it's a Tiger Woods club. It's very sort of squat, definitely that better player's shape. Personally, when it comes down to Nike, I actually really enjoy the Nike stuff, especially the stuff that they did in 2016, just before they closed. They were really getting onto something. And I know a lot of people watching this hate Nike Golf and think they're absolutely rubbish, but they were close to it. They were really close to it. I think they pulled the plug at the wrong time, unfortunately. I think if they did another year, I think they definitely would still be around potentially. But anyway, I don't own Nike, so they had a good reason to do it, so they've done it. But anyway, really cool thing. And I've done lots of Nike Golf reviews, actually, to be fair, so do check out the channel for that. And I'd actually still have a lot to do as well around this office here. But anyway, let's go into the technology that is in this club. So obviously this is the Nike Vapor Speed model from 2015, but it is in the way that Tiger Woods had it. So he actually had a Pacific head for himself. Number one, you'll notice it is a bonded hosel. So Nike, you could adjust them normally. Here's a Nike, I think this is a Speed, isn't it? Yeah, Nike Vapor Speed, limited edition one there, but you can see there they did have a hosel, so you could change the head shape there. And you just see there, by the way, look at that. Very, very different shape, isn't it? Very, very different shape. But so yeah, so bonded hosel, because he didn't like that. He didn't want that adjustability there, obviously because he's getting it built to his specs. So there you go. Also, it was a 420cc head, not a 460 like I just showed you. So again, very much the size that he wants. He wants that smaller head. He wanted it for that better player, to be able to control the ball a little bit better, move it left to right, very much that sort of, player's driver, basically. If you think of a player's driver, you think of that smaller head. You don't think of 460. They're always a little bit smaller. So there you go. Also 10.5 degrees. That's how this came, because that's how Tiger played it. So you couldn't get this in any other loft. It was 10.5 degrees. Shaft was the same shaft as his. So as I mentioned, diameter, I probably spelt, it's definitely pronounced that wrong, but 73X. But as I mentioned, you get stiff, extra stiff, etc. So you did have different flex options, but it was his shaft. This is the shaft that he was playing at the time as well. And then that's about it. I will say as well, with this, he had more of the CG at the front of the club, again, for that little bit more low spin, more control, etc. Not too worried about having it all at the back for higher MOI, higher launch, etc. Obviously, his swing speed, 10.5 degrees is probably quite high, I would have thought, for him, but obviously having more CG at the front, which specifically this one had, so all that weight there. Obviously maybe he wanted that 10.5 degrees loft just to get that angle of attack that he wanted. And you can sort of see it here. You can see it's just more chunky at the front there compared to your normal one where there is more weight there. But apart from that, it's the same technology than a normal Nike Vapor Speed. So you had the flight beam structure there, which is on the back here. Technology that stabilizes the sachet and helps maximize ball speed. So the idea it's all connected there. You had the covert cavity back, so design that strategically places weight to make the club more forgiving and off-centered hit. So this is why you had no shell here. The idea is they didn't have that there. We don't need it, because we're going to be moving weight around, and you've got this structure there to keep it strong. So there. Next core face as well. So face technology designed for increased ball speed. And obviously you've got this sort of technology there as well to help on low face hits. It's very much like a speed pocket from your sort of TaylorMade, which is very much exactly the same technology throughout the clubs. As I can mention here, there you go. This is the original one. You got the, what's it called again? The fly beam structure there. You got the cavity at the back, all very similar. But the only difference for this one, for Tigers, is that 420cc head, bonded hosel, and that CG closer to the face. So there you go. All right, so without further ado, now let's get down to range, throw some figures at you, and give you my overall thoughts about this club, and go through the ACS Golf scale. All right, see you in a bit. I'm down at the range with the Nike Golf Club. I know I've been saying Nike the whole time for this video, actually, but I do know in America it's pronounced Nike, so apologies for that, just realised. But anyway, so let's get into those numbers. So on average, they had a carry of 228 yards, total distance 260 yards, ball speed 156 miles per hour, launch angle 11 degrees, and height 60 feet. Now, one thing I'd mention with this, I did struggle to get this up in the air, even though it did have that 10.5 degree head. It's because that CG is so front, so close to that face, it just wants to come out low and penetrating. Longest for 239 yards carry, 269 yards total distance, ball speed 159 miles per hour, while the shortest was only 191 yards carry, 250 yards total distance, ball speed a good 162, but it came out at 9 degrees and just stayed low. Things about the club: number one, very firm. Quite enjoyed the sound of it, to be fair. There's definitely a dull whack to it, which is always good fun. Movement wise, you can easily move this left and right and manipulate that ball flight if needed. A lot of the time that was happening no for me, just because it's quite a difficult club in my mind to hit, being that 420cc face, but still really good fun. Now here's the numbers in the table for you. So yeah, did, as I mentioned, struggle to get that launch. Also, on average 260. Normally, really nowadays I want around 265, because it is winter, so it's a lot colder, so the ball's not going as fast. So a little bit shy of what I would necessarily hope a club like this would go, but still not bad. Longest happy with, and definitely happy with that ball speed 162 miles per hour. Anything that I can get over, but that 156 on average isn't great. So there you go. And not bad numbers, to be fair, but not amazing numbers. I mean, for me, really, sort of your average driver at the moment, because it is winter, be sort of around that 265 mark, so a little bit down on that. Ball speed as well, 156, be a little bit higher than that as well, but I think that's more forgiveness of the club and me hitting it rather than the club itself. But I'm not expecting this to be a massive distance monster. It's Tiger Woods is playing this. He's not looking for distance, because he's got the ball, the swing speed to get the distance he wants. He wants that control, and that's exactly what this is built for. So I'm not surprised it's a little bit shy of sort of other clubs. And also, let's be honest, it is nearly 10 years old now, so there's going to be a difference there anyway, comparing it to a brand new club, which at the time I was testing, and this was about 5 yards behind it on average. Ball speed, as mentioned, so just going to numbers, sorry. So 228 yards carry, as I mentioned, 260 yards total distance, ball speed 156 miles per hour, launch angle 11, height 60. Shortest was actually the best ball speed I had, where I did get to 162. So there is definitely some ball speed in there, but it was a knuckleball 191 yards carry, 250 yards total distance, ball speed 162 miles per hour, launch angle 9, height 30. Knuckle. Absolutely just came out and just an absolute knuckle. Low spin, just knuckleball. Longest on the day was 239 yards carry, 269 yards total distance, ball speed 159 miles per hour, launch angle 9 and height 59 feet. So definitely not getting that high up in the air. Probably might have heard a beep of a horn then. Never mind. Show must go on. Not getting up in the air massively there, there's that small head, even with that 10.5 degrees there. Launch a little bit down, and you definitely tell that spin was a little bit down as well, which I would expect. But not the end of the world, but not huge distance. As I mentioned, I don't think it is built for distance, really, this club. It's for workability, and it definitely had that, to be honest. You could move this left and right very easily. Even if I didn't want to move it left and right, I could. So there you go. Let's get into the ACS Golf scale now. So remember, we've got 5 categories: distance, feel, looks, price, and forgiveness. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. Now, distance, I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5. Not bad when struck out the middle. If I can get up to around 270, which I was just shy of, get the ball speed up over 160. If I can sort out that launch angle, maybe try and get a little bit better with that, because obviously there's a little bit low spin. Then I could get some pretty decent distance. I don't think it's going to be up there with your some other clubs out there at the moment. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5. Not the end of the world, but as I mentioned, it's not a huge distance monster. And maybe on another day it would have given it a 3, but there's definitely potential there to definitely get out a bit more distance. I didn't feel like it was a max for me. I felt like there was just a little bit more to give. Maybe I was holding back a little bit as well because it's a limited edition. And I'm not going to lie, sometimes I hit it and I thought I'd broken it. Just because it is firm. It's just so much CG at the front. It is a very firm driver, believe me. Feel, I've given it a 3 out of 5 because it is very firm. But that's what Tiger liked. His TaylorMade P70Ws, they're a lot firmer than your normal blades. He likes that firm feel. He's always has done. So I'm not surprised this feels very firm off the face. So not the end of the world, so I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. If you like a firmer fielding driver, then you would like this. Personally, I much prefer a bit of a softer one. But yeah, it definitely felt like a big punch in the face when trying to nail it out there. So yeah, 3 out of 5. Looks-wise, I've given it actually a 2.5 out of 5 for looks, because it is a bit weird, that cavity there, and it is very, very squat. You've got a big face there, and it's just round. There's no alignment aid on the top because you didn't want that either. It's just a little bit, no, that's brutal. I don't agree with that. I'm giving it a 3 out of 5, and I feel harsh about that. I think it's still quite a good looking driver, but it is a very unique shape, definitely. So do be aware of that. I actually really like that profile. Why have I given that a 2.5? That is outrageous. God, that was a weird decision for me there. 3, even maybe 3.5. I actually really like that shape. That side on is a really nice shape. Looking down on the top, yeah, I think it's just from the top. I'm not a fan of it from the top, to be fair. So I stick with the 3. Profile, really cool on the side. Looks interesting at the bottom as well. But yeah, just on the top is not quite my shape. So yeah, 3 out of 5. Obviously, very much Tiger Woods shape. Forgiveness. Now, there was mention that, this was a little bit more forgiving. Tiger made it a little bit more forgiving. But for me, 3 out of 5. And I feel like I'm being a bit generous with that. It is 420cc. A lot of the CG's at the front, so center of gravity, which is going to make it less forgiving because it's not MOI there. There is quite a big dispersion there. 260, longest 2. Well, not a huge dispersion, to be fair, but, it was a little bit all over the place. I couldn't quite dial it in, and that's what I mean when I said I definitely feel there's more in this club, because I couldn't quite dial it in. So yeah, 3 out of 5, probably being a bit generous, probably should be a 2.5 if I'm honest, even if I do read the reviews where they say actually there is some okay forgiveness in there. This is still built for Tiger Woods. His idea of okay forgiveness is like no forgiveness for the rest of us, believe me. So there you go. So 3 out of 5, but I feel that's a bit, it's not necessarily the ball speed drop off, it's the fact that it moves very much left to right. That's my issue with it. So yeah, I'll stick with a 3 out of 5, but really probably a 2.5 out of 5. Now, price. Now, this is a difficult one. So when this first came out, it was around $400. Now it's basically, you see it, you want it, you buy it. I mean, I've seen someone trying to sell one online, brand new, for like £1,000. If you want to get that collectible item, then great. And then I've seen them go for like I think I paid about 150 for this. Got quite lucky with it. So I'm giving the price a 1 out of 5. I think it's very difficult to give it a rating, really. Maybe I should have done non-applicable, because it's very much, they come out, they're limited edition. It's what you want to pay for it. But to be honest, if I was going for performance-wise and everything like that, £100 sort of thing, I think probably be the right value for it. You know, as I said, Nike weren't quite there. This model, I think they definitely were there for the Fly, and then obviously they stopped, unfortunately. So, you know, it's very much a collector's item. So it's whatever you can find it for, and if you want it, basically. So there you go. All right. So there is my 200th review of the Nike Vapor Speed Tiger Woods edition. Were my socks blown off by it? No, they weren't. Really cool item. Don't get me wrong, I love all these limited edition stuff, but I would not take this out. Number one, because it's a bit too firm for me. Number two, I'll be all over the place with it. And number three, I can definitely get more distance personally out with a different driver. You know, a 460cc head and stuff like that. I mean, I think if I took that out, I'd get more distance out of that personally. But yeah, but still, a bit of fun. And definitely worth a review and worth a watch, personally, I think. So there you go. All right, guys. Now, I hope you enjoyed this review of the Nike Vapor Speed Tiger Woods Edition driver. Let me know in the comments down below if you've actually managed to try this yourself. And if you have, what are your thoughts? I mean, it's so firm. I just kept on thinking I broke it. Just sounds, just listen to that. I mean, I've got a screw in this, but sounds exactly the same. All right, let's ruin that idea. It sounded exactly the same. And even felt exactly the same as well then. That completely debunked my idea. I thought I was going to be softer. It was not. But there you go. You know, not for me, but really cool item nevertheless. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you tried one of these, and if you have, what your thoughts about it. Also, do remember to like this video if you enjoyed it, and do remember to subscribe to the channel for weekly ACS Golf reviews on old clubs like this, you know, year old or whatever. Brand new clubs as well. They come out every now and again on a Friday. You know, minimum I release 2 videos a week. So do remember to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you do not miss out on them. All right, guys, I'll catch you soon for the next video. Right, see you then. Bye-bye.